If you have been looking for a really great budgeting app to start putting your finances together and you're like, I don't want to mess with a spreadsheet, I don't want to mess with a notebook, I just want an app to do it for me, then I've rounded up the top best budgeting apps that you need to take a look at for 2025. Stick around. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Justine. Here we talk about all ways to help you achieve financial confidence, crush debt that leads to more fun and fewer payments. And I have to tell you, when it comes to budgeting apps, I kind of have this like back and forth relationship with them because they do so much of the work for you. You can get caught in this hands-off approach to your money. So if you want the app to really supplement your lifestyle and your financial goals, then you really have to be hands-on with them. And so that's why I went through, found the best budgeting apps that I felt like still gave you that hands-on approach without completely taking the work off of your plate, because let's be honest, you still need to be actively engaged with your money. So stick around until the very end where I'm going to share my favorite budgeting app with you, but let's go ahead and get started with this list. The first one is You Need a Budget, or as their fan base calls them, YNAB. So you can go to YNAB.com to get plugged into this app. You can actually start a free trial. And when I did this, you can access and try YNAB for free for 34 days, which I think is really awesome. Actually, there is an annual subscription of $99 for the year or $14.99 per month, but I want to show you what this looks like on the inside. So what's cool about this is you can actually share your YNAB subscription with your partner or your family, so you have one account that everybody has access to if you and your partner are actively budgeting together. What I would consider a pro is you don't have to sync your financial accounts. Like, you don't have to log into a financial account to start pulling in transactions. You can do this manually if you prefer. Everything's listed in this line item like style where you see everything kind of categorized in these preset categories. So I found that a little annoying just because I'm like, I don't have all of these things, but you can go through and edit and delete them if they don't make sense for your budget. And the way that they've got this listed out is you've got your bills, you've got your needs and wants. So that's how they delineate things inside of their app: needs, wants, bills. And then you can kind of add things that may pertain to you. Now, the first time that I went in and started setting up my budget inside of YNAB, it didn't automatically pull in and import transactions from my financial accounts, which was kind of annoying because I really wanted to have them go ahead and automatically categorize things. So if you are going through this and you want to assign cash, what you do is you will put whatever the amount is inside of your checking account, and then you'll start adding money to be assigned. So electricity, let's say it's $150 that needs to be assigned, and then it's going to list that transaction as it occurs. There's a lot of bells and whistles to this, and there's a bit of a learning curve with YNAB, but I do feel like it's customizable enough to get you to think about being actively engaged with your money. The next one is Monarch Money. This is a fan favorite among the personal finance community. I feel like you hear a lot about Monarch Money. What's cool about them is they are very customizable in the sense that I found that it was less bells and whistly than YNAB, and it was a little bit more straightforward to interpret. Okay, and at the time of this recording, I'm seeing a 30% off your first year subscription with code WELCOME. I will also leave an affiliate link below for you to check out. That there's no cost to you. I really liked this one actually. When I was setting it up for my monthly budget, you could actually go in and toggle through your income. You could quickly just set, hey, like I have a $12,000 budget. Here's what actually came through. You can, it's also got that very much like line item register of transactions. All of them were put together into these little subsections, so that was really nice. You can also roll over any unused funds from the previous month. So if you see this little like circle arrow thing, you can actually roll that over. So I thought that was really nice. So it's a list style budget, right? You can set the budget, you can see what you've actually spent so far, and then what is the remaining amount that you have to work with. Also, it's going to show you the amount that's left to budget. So I thought this was really straightforward. They actually have a little bit more items here that you can take a look at: goals, investments, reports, which looks like it's in beta, cash flow, transactions, accounts. Has everything for you to kind of toggle through. And look, you can even skip ahead to start planning out for future months into, you know, different scenarios to help you set up your spending for a particular month. Like December, you're going to spend more money on Christmas holiday stuff versus January, you're probably going to maybe do a health cleanse. I don't know. You're going to be spending money different month to month, and so you can actually plan ahead inside of Monarch. Now, it wasn't intuitive on how to set up custom budget categories. For that, I had to go into settings, and then I had to click on categories, and then I had to go in here and actually create new categories or create new groups. So it was kind of buried under the settings. I wished they would have had that here inside of the actual budget to say like, how can I add a new category here? But otherwise, that's how you toggle to that. There's also no credit score feature that I saw. If that's important to you, then you'll probably want to take a look at that just to see, okay, like what is my credit score? How is my budget impacting my credit score? That could be something to look out for. Maybe Monarch is not the right platform for you. But I think the biggest draw here is that you can easily just create rules. You can create transfer categories. It's just simple and straightforward. And again, I'm showing you the web desktop version. This looks really great in the mobile app as well. The next one to check out is Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a budgeting app that not only helps you budget your spending, but it can also negotiate and lower your bills on your behalf. It can also locate, find, and cancel your subscriptions if you are taking advantage of the app's premium features. So if you want to go premium, then the way that Rocket Money's pricing structure works is it's on a sliding scale. So you get to pick how much you want to pay for the app. And I think the range is between $6 and $12. It actually defaults to $10 a month. Well, that's kind of steep compared to YNAB and Monarch Money, because now you're paying $120 for the year versus $100, I guess. So $20 difference. Is that steep? I mean, you tell me. But the cool thing about it is it actually does some of that dirty work for you. So inside of the budgeting app, very similar to Monarch in the sense that it has your budgeted amount, your actual, what you actually spent, and what is the remainder inside of that particular budget. Cool thing is you can add a budget for particular stuff. So we can do some of the recommended, such as auto and transport. I'm going to do Christmas. That sounds good. Add Christmas. We're going to budget $350 here. And then we can actually go in and start seeing some of our transactions. So you get this nice little list of all of the transactions here. You can see the categories. If it doesn't belong in a particular category, maybe you did this Amazon purchase and it was actually for Christmas, then you can quickly change that, go back over to budgets, and then that should have been reflected, and it is. And then you can quickly see exactly how much is remaining inside of that particular budget. You can also check your credit score here. You can activate a free credit report. It does say coming soon to web, so it's probably accessible inside of the app. In fact, Rocket Money really focused on making sure the mobile app version of their budget was all put together very seamlessly before transitioning into web. They used to not have the web application. So the fact that they have the web application, I think, is a great pro, because a lot of the times when I'm budgeting, I like to have a big screen. This is so millennial of me. I like to have my big laptop screen, see everything, open up multiple windows instead of doing everything teeny tiny. But you do you. It is a mobile app for a reason, and where it shines is being able to locate and cancel those subscriptions and negotiate your bills. I mean, could you imagine getting a lower bill for T-Mobile? I mean, no, but yes, that would be awesome. Rocket Money's premium features can do that for you. I am an affiliate for them, so I will leave my link below for you to check out Rocket Money. This one is definitely one to take note of for 2025. And one thing to note about Rocket Money, before I'm like, they were awesome. There was one thing that I was like, you had to link your checking account for the app in order to like check out and get started and start using the app, which was kind of annoying. It's like, okay, I get it. It gets the user in more. There's more buy-in when you get your financial accounts linked up, but I just wanted to get in and start playing with it. I wish they had like a sandbox version of this so I could start playing with it and see if it's a tool that works best for me before like going through all the rigmaroles of opening up my financial account, adding in my username and password, connecting it. So that was my biggest con about Rocket Money, is just the onboarding process was a bit time consuming. But overall, love how it differentiates itself against other budgeting apps. This next one, if you've been following the channel for a long time, then you know I've talked about this one quite often. I feel like I've mentioned it quite often, but it is Quicken Simplifi. So Quicken Simplifi, Quicken has had its own software for eons, decades, but never had they ever had a budgeting app until recently. And what I love about Simplifi is that they are continuously reworking their app to make it more efficient and effective for a variety of budgeting scenarios. Right now, they are having a sale on their app, so get in while you can. I think this is a fantastic, I think normally they charge something like, I think it can be billed up to $80 annually, which is still like the cheapest one out of this list. Right now they're showing it $2 a month. Which, I mean, sure, $24 in the year. I think I've also seen promos for $48 for the year, which is still such a huge advantage, cost advantage compared to the other ones. I want to show you what this looks like inside, because this looks so much different than Monarch, than YNAB, than Rocket Money, because everything was kind of in that list style. This one actually is more like blocks. So you've got these blocked out. Let me show you. For planned spending. So you can either do a list view, or you can do these tiled views. So as you are looking at things, this is kind of the learning curve with Simplifi. So this does take some figuring out, some onboarding, but I have tutorials on my channel if you want to check this out for real. But you can also list out your income. You're going to list out your bills. So here you're going to have your rent, your daycare, your internet. If something is not a bill, like AMC is entertainment, then you would just click these three little dots and then you would just delete this, and then it automatically updates here. But where you're going to be doing the bulk of your budgeting is under planned spending. So you're going to have groceries, shopping. Maybe we want to do a monthly expense for restaurants. So let's do that, restaurants. And then we can set the monthly amount of, let's call it $400. Also, you do have the option of rolling over the balance each month, so that any unused dollars can actually be moved over to the next month, and you can create. You can also plan ahead by using the arrow buttons up at the top to say, okay, how do I want January's budget to look different than December's? Maybe December, I want to do a one-time expense of gifts. I'm going to name this Christmas. I'm going to put $500, and now that's been added here. And then anytime it pulls the transactions from your financial institutions, you're going to see that, and then you can go ahead and categorize as such. I feel like there's a lot of customization to Simplifi that works really well, and then you can see exactly how much money is left over as you are adding things in. So you got your income, doing all these different checks. If you're like, no, this is incorrect, I need to update this to $3,000 because I know I'm getting an extra pay increase for this month. You can set these up and link them to transactions, which is really cool. So you could also split transactions. So at this restaurant, if I was maybe splitting it with somebody else, you could go here and split and then say, okay, $8 here, and then you can add left to split. So now you've got 50-50 going through these different transactions, which I find is really, really helpful. Especially, have you ever gone to Target and you bought groceries? You also bought clothes, you also bought gifts, and you're like, that all doesn't belong in shopping. Maybe I do want to break out the $15 I spent for groceries. You can do that by using the split transactions feature. You can also track your savings goals inside of Simplifi. So if you were wanting to save for like a new car, you can set a goal amount of, I don't know, $20,000. You can say whether or not you've actually saved anything so far. Then you can set a target goal date of when you want to achieve this goal. Maybe it's, I don't know, 3 years from now. Then you can see how it's going to change your monthly contribution. We need to be saving about $400 per month. And then we can create the goal, and you can actually include that planned contribution inside of your spending plan, which I really like. So if we were to go back to the spending plan, savings goal, here it is. And then we would make sure that we are actually transferring that money over into our savings account. And by the way, what's going to be new coming out for Simplifi is you can actually transfer money from account to account, which I think is fantastic inside of the app. In addition, you can also create watch lists for particular spending categories. So if you know you have a fetish for Starbucks, you can search for, let's do this, coffee shops. There we go. Call it Starbucks. Don't set. We just want to watch this guy. Every single time we go to Starbucks, this is going to be included here as a spending watch list. Now, I'm just showing you inside of a dummy account just for the sake of there's actual real paycheck names and amounts from my personal budget. And so I like to keep that hidden, but this is a dummy account. It's going to pull in as much information as possible from your own financial accounts, which I think is really great. If you are a seasoned budgeter and you use sinking funds in which you are planning those monthly contributions and setting them aside, you can use things like in your planned spending, rolling over the amount, or you can set up that sinking fund as a savings goal, but it's a little bit trickier to do versus like doing a Google Sheet or some sort of spreadsheet where you're manually tracking that. So that would be kind of my biggest con with Simplifi, is the ability to actually track sinking funds, but there are workarounds for that if you are using sinking funds inside of your budget. Of course, with any of these budgeting apps, transactions are not categorized correctly every single time, so there is a bit of manual work, but again, that's why you are going in and actively managing your money inside of these apps. Just because you have an app doesn't mean that you have to take this hands-off approach to your money. Now, I promised you that I would tell you what my favorite budgeting app of this roundup is, and it is Quicken Simplifi, just because I know how many features that they have included over the past year and what they are still continuing to add to the functionality of their budgeting app. I mean, you can track your net worth, you can track your credit score. I just love the watch list. I think that's great. Rocket Money also does a fantastic job because of the subscriptions and the bill negotiation. That is so unique to them. So I feel like regardless of what you choose, you cannot go wrong with any of these four if you want to do a budgeting app. So I'd love to know in the comments which one is your favorite, which one are you testing out or are currently using, and let us know your thoughts on it using the comments. Everything will be linked below in the description box for you. Happy budgeting in 2025, and I will catch you in the next one.